Hey, welcome back today. I am surrounded by books, you guys. I'm surrounded by books. I did just buy a few and I got a book outlet order. So that's kind of what prompted this video. And if you're new here, welcome. This is one of my favorite hobbies to go along with, trying to be well balanced in my life. And I see all these books I have, but aging joyfully is what it is, and you have to find your thing. And right now this is my thing. Like, I love doing some needlepoint and some cross stitch and some crocheting. Like, I love my hobbies. I love going to my grandkids soccer games and going to my new grandbaby's house and just hanging with them, playing some pickleball. Like, I try and be well rounded, and I'm not just a hermit sitting home reading books all day, even though sometimes I think I could be, and sometimes I am on a nice rainy day, or definitely every night after work. I love to just cozy up with books. And so that has been my thing, and I really do love it. And I really recommend the library, but sometimes I go on spending sprees, or purchasing sprees, I should say, because I'm not spending a ton. But when you look at all of these, you might think differently. So this is my last quarter of book buying. So probably about 3.5 months worth of purchasing books. And I just thought, you know what? I'm surrounded by all of these. We might as well show you. I'd love your thoughts and opinions if you've read any of them. Opinions if you've read any of them, and then give me recommendations on anything else you think I can't live without. I do have a little window open right here, so we might get a little traffic noise, but I kind of live with that every day, and so I don't think much about it. But that's what's going on if you hear some sound. Oh my goodness, where to begin? I'm going to start with my latest purchases. Oh, I don't know. There might be no rhyme or reason. I'll tell you when we get going. Um, about every month or two, my local bookstore will have a sale, a coupon type sale. It's usually a buy two, get one free on used, and they do book buybacks, so they'll have some used books, and sometimes it's just used books, and sometimes it's new and used. So this was done Memorial Day weekend, just a couple days ago. I went on day one because you kind of have to get there at the beginning so you get the best pick of the books, right? So I did sit there Friday after work, and I feel like I got me some good things. So I guess I will start with that. Um, I have some notes here just so I can make sure I've got you some good statistics, some good numbers, and some good names. Okay, so I'm searching. You have to search and you have to find these yellow tags for used books. And I searched and searched through. My used bookstore too doesn't have a huge selection. They're not a Barnes and Noble, but what they do have is some older books sometimes, if you can find them and if you're lucky enough to have the time to search through it and see what you can find. So I saw this, The Outstretched Shadow, the Obsidian Trilogy, book one, from Mercedes Lackey and James Mallory. And I'm like, does that look like something I want? Like, I think is that, like, I knew I wanted to read some Mercedes Lackey, so I looked it up on my Goodreads app where I have, my want to read list, and it was on my want to read list. I was, just looking at it, it does look old. Let me tell you, it was done in 2003. It's the first book in a trilogy. And but it got 4.02 stars on Goodreads, and it was recommended by I think Jessie May and a couple other people that I follow here on YouTube, and so it was on my list, and I wanted to get it. So I kind of feel lucky that I stumbled upon it because I did not have book two or book three, but for now I got book one, and it's just going to be one of your classic, like a 2003, 20 years old, a classic fantasy that's supposed to just be fantastic. It's called the Obsidian trilogy. I just said that, but I am excited for this jewel gem that I was able to find. So these were buy two, get one free. So this one was $7.99 to start with, but I'll show you my other used ones that I got. Oh, I was going to look this guy up for you because I can't remember. I will find his YouTube page and I will link it down below. But I was just thumbing through my YouTube channels, and this kid, I'm going to call him a kid because he's probably 19 or 20, maybe 21 at the most, I don't know, a kid reviewing some books, and he was talking about his favorite books of all time. And I don't know, something about him was just really intriguing, captured my attention. Every book, he had about 17 books. I think I have like 60 books here. Anyway, he had about 17 books, and some of his favorite, none of them I'd read, but I couldn't look away. I was just like so intrigued by his storytelling and his ability to give me some thoughts on different books. And so I feel like this author is a very deep author. I think she writes some things that are very poignant and humanity based and not just fantasy. Definitely probably not at all fantasy, which is not something that I gravitate towards. But I thought, after listening to him, I thought I need to give him a try, or give this author a try. So Donna Tartt, the book he talked about was called, that I wanted to get first, was called The Secret History, written in 1992 by Donna Tartt. Well, they didn't have that one, but they did have this one used. And this puppy is a classic. I think it's a classic. I think most of you have probably heard of it. I heard of it, but didn't really know anything about it. It only got, on Goodreads, it's only got 3.93 stars, and it's called The Goldfinch. But it was used for $9.99, and I thought, I'm going to break out of my comfort zone. So I got this one. It's almost 800 pages. This puppy is dense and heavy, and I'm definitely intimidated by it, but it's now on my shelf, and I will get to it. I've got to get to it. It intrigues me. I'm intrigued. And then the last used book I got was from an author that I do really want to read, and I've mixed reviews. Some people love her. Most people probably love her. Other people have a series of hers they don't really love much at all. But Robin Hobb and Dragon Keeper. So this is book one in a trilogy, I believe. Let me double check. Yeah, The Rain Wild Chronicles. So this is number one, and it got, I didn't write how many stars it got, but it is a well-loved, a much beloved series, and I am excited to have found this one used and to jump in and give it a try. But look, it just looks like a little old book too. It was probably from the library. Oh, it was from the library at one point in time. How did they get there? Oh, this is a buyback, so somebody got this from the library. I love that. I love that I am repurposing a book that had already started out at the library that somebody purchased as well. Hopefully they purchased it. Anyway, excited to have those. Those were buy two, get one free. Love that. Then they also let you buy, sometimes they let you buy two new and get one free. Sometimes it's just used. This happened to be a buy some new ones too. So here's my new book haul. And these are something I have wanted for a long time. I read this first book, Malice, by John Gwen, from the library. Well, I didn't read the whole thing. I didn't finish it, but I did get it at the library. I did start reading it, and I'm like, yep, I do want this series. So again, another pretty dense book, but I love these big floppy paperbacks. But they didn't have book 2 or 3, and I think there's 4. They didn't have 2, 3, and 4 in this. So I'm just starting with the first one. But I know when the nether sale comes, I'm going to be wanting to purchase the rest. And I'm excited. I'm excited for this one. I think this is one of those classics that I just have to have on my shelf. So, and read, not just have on my shelf. So I got that one as well. And then these are the same. The Malice comes first, and then these two guys. Same thing, Shadow of the Gods and Hunger of the Gods by John Gwen. I think I'm going to love these because I do love his writing that I am aware of in Malice. And so there is a third one that's not out yet, but I'm really planning on loving these two. I haven't read them yet, but they are much beloved by people as well, and I feel strongly and safe that I am going to enjoy those. Oh, so that was my just 2 day ago purchase, was those 6 books, and love me a good sale. Okay, the last time that this book sale was on was probably a spring Easter sale, so just over probably 6 weeks ago. And at that point in time, same thing. They were doing the new and used. I couldn't find any used that I wanted, but I found these brand spanking new. And I just decided that I know I'm going to love these. I know I'm going to love these. Everybody does. And what a good time. These are $26 a piece. And so I was able to get 2, buy 2, get 1 free. They didn't have the first one at that point in time, but I have 2, 3, and 4. So on the next round of sales, I've got to get number 1. But I'm going to be starting with Mistborn here pretty soon. And then I will move on to these. So if you don't know what these are Brandon Sanderson. The first one is called The Way of Kings. And it is just a classic Sanderson fantasy world that I know I'm going to love. Everybody does. And I just needed, I'd purchased one like this size before I was smart and knew that paperback there's different paperbacks. So, these are these big, beautiful paperbacks. And then they also carry, this size. There is also this size of paperback, which you can see the difference. Anyway, I'll get back to that. So, I love me a good paperback. I usually prefer to purchase in paperback, but it doesn't always happen. Thus, I got this one, pretty sure on Amazon. This is, people are highly opinionated about this series. They either love Age of Myth by Michael J. Sullivan, or they really don't. And Jessie May is another person I follow that really loved it, and I'm pretty sure Elliot Brooks didn't love it. I don't think she hated it, but I don't think she loved it. So I'm torn on this one. And so I thought, oh, it's a cheap paperback. I'll start with that. But usually on Amazon, it will say pocket paperback, or even on Book Outlet, it will say a pocket paperback. And that's when you know they're going to be little like this. But it didn't say that. It didn't say pocket paperback. So I was assuming I was at least getting this size of a paperback, but I didn't. I mean, I don't know. I may try and read this. I will have to use my really good magnifier glasses to be able to see that little print. But since I purchased it, I will probably give it a shot, because this is something that I think, or I'm hoping, that I'm going to love. And I hope that I love Michael J. Sullivan's writing, because people love him and are really attached to him. So I'm hoping this is something that I love. But I did purchase this just randomly. I give myself about a $25 a week budget, $25 to $30 a week budget for books. And so just if I'm in the mood, I just will buy 1 or 2 here and there. Or maybe every couple of months, I do like a $60 or $70 Book Outlet order if I can find things that I'm looking for. So, something that I did just purchase, a couple of these books I did just purchase because I was rewarding myself, or it's like, here, you have a $25 budget, or you didn't buy anything last week, so you have like a $50 budget. And I was at Barnes & Noble. So I got, from Miss Holly Black, I got The Stolen Heir. And I talked about this briefly on one of my other videos, but I did start to read it. I've gotten that far. But I realized it's going to be a duology, and the next one's not going to be out for a while, so I just paused. I just stopped because I don't like waiting. That's the thing about some older series, is they're completed and you can just get them all. So that's what I'm kind of doing, is going back and getting recommendations for some older series, because I will be able to read them all. Binge read them if I love them. And this is the other one I got at Barnes and Noble, Divine Rivals. I do love Rebecca Ross. I've read Something River just recently. Oh, you know what I mean. You know what I mean. I'm sorry, I'm drawing a blank. But I loved that. So I love her writing style. This got great praises by so many people. I know I'm going to love this. And I think, oh, I do want me some Rebecca Ross, more Rebecca Ross on my shelves, because I've loved what I've read so far. So I love me some Rebecca Ross. This is kind of a little bit of a romance, I think, a little more modern day romance. I don't know much about it, because when people start to talk about it, they'll go, oh, I loved this book. And then they begin to give you a synopsis of the book. And I go, la, 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 la. I don't want to hear that part. I just want to know that they loved the book. So there we go. They loved that book, and they loved that it's on my shelf. These next three are ones that I read in the library. I read the whole trilogy in the library because I couldn't put them down. And I love that, because sometimes when I do library books, I'll just read a little bit of it and go, yep, like I did with Malice. I read about a third of it and went, I love this. I'll just take it back to the library, and I'm going to want to purchase this whole series someday. Other times it's like, oh, I can't put it down. I can't put it down. I need all of the books. And so that's how this trilogy went for me. This is The Good Girl's Guide to Murder by Holly Jackson. It is a trilogy, and I loved every minute of these from the library. I loved every minute. These are a YA whodunit murder mystery. Oh my goodness. It did keep me on the edge of my seat. I couldn't quit turning the pages. So exciting. And this third book, As Good as Dead, a lot of people quit reading this one. They read these two, and then they struggled to read this because it's slightly different. But I loved it. It had twists and turns that you did not see coming. I did not see coming. And quite a tricky, interesting development halfway through to the end. And I would love to talk to anybody who's read this, because it was a big deal. And I had to regroup and ponder that, and it stuck with me. So these, oh, I might have taken the tags off. These I got used at my bookstore on the last, probably the Easter buy. And so I got one free. Love that for me when I saw those on the shelves, because you just don't know what you're going to get ever when you are looking for used. You never know what the store is going to have, and I just felt very fortunate to be able to pick that up. Another book that I just got off of Amazon, Amazon a while ago, was The Stardust Thief by Chelsea Abdullah. I follow her on Instagram. She looks star. Okay, quick correction. I have confused these two books a couple of times in my own mind, but I did it on the video. So The Stardust Thief by Chelsea Abdullah, I did read this. Fantastic. I'm waiting for the next book. It's kind of a remake of the Alibaba and the 40 Thieves kind of thing. I loved this. This is the one, Scales of Ash and Smoke by Emily Schneider. That is the indie artist, and she has, I think, the completed trilogy, and I have not read this one yet. I'm hoping to love it. I will be reading it soon. It's not super big, and there are two more if I love it. So I just had to do that correction because I feel stupid. Loved this one. Waiting for the next one. Hope I love this one. That's one good thing about social media, is like, there's a few authors. I mean, I could probably find more if I really did some searching, but I love when I find an author that you can see what she's doing with her life and who she is and how hard she works, and then you can support her. And hopefully we love her books enough that we keep supporting. Then I've showed you this one already. This is Ray Bear by Jordan Ifueko. Jordan Ifueko. I've heard a lot of good things about this. This was on Goodreads. Nope, not on Goodreads. This is on Book Outlet. And I love when I find some really good stuff on Book Outlet, because I usually only buy when they're either $5.99 or $6.99. And they were having their $6.99 sale. So I had to do a bigger book order. And I'm going to show you This is one of the books that I've seen people talk about. I wasn't 100% sure about, but when it was $6.99, I thought that's a good time to try it out. It does have quite a few, I think I wrote it down here, quite a few stars on Goodreads. Where's my glasses? Yeah, 4.36 stars on Goodreads. I always, if I'm not sure, if I haven't really looked it up, I haven't really looked into it, I haven't read it at the library, I do go to my Goodreads app and try and see how it stacks up, what people think. Get a little taste without knowing the whole thing. I just get a little taste. And 4.36 stars is pretty good. I feel like if it's like a 3.8 or above, I'm going to give it a try because some of my favorite books of all time are just rated in the threes. My favorite books of all time. So I have to give authors a chance, even if they're just rated in the threes. But this was a 4.36. And it does have book 2, which even had a 4.27 average rating as well. So I'm excited to try this. I think I will love it. You just never know though. Like I trust Goodreads to a certain extent, but their taste might not be my tastes and vice versa. So another one that I did get on my book outlet order is Scythe. This is book 1 in this trilogy. I think it might have 4. But I have lots of friends who recommended this, who loved it. And I know it's a little more maybe sci-fi fantasy as well, but I was excited to get this on a deal. And I'll be watching. It had book 2 or 3 as well on Book Outlet now and then, and they kind of come and go. But I haven't got them yet. So I just got book 1, hoping that I'm going to love it. Okay, one of my favorite authors so far, everything I've read from this author I have loved, and that is Tricia Levenseller. So, Daughter of the Siren Queen and Daughter of the Pirate King. I got both of these. I think I got both of these on Book Outlet. And was so excited to do so because, like I said, everything I've read from her, I've loved. And then this one as well, The Shadows Between Us. So I have 3 Tricia Levenseller books. I did get this one finished. Did love this. It's a YA kind of romance where you have your main character is a little bit gray morally, and she doesn't try to hide it and pretend that she's anything other than what she is. And she's decided to go after a prince or a king because she just wants to have her life set up and she thinks she deserves to have that title and that money, and she's just going to go after it. And it's a pretty hilarious, fun ride, and I do highly recommend this. And I haven't read these yet, but I don't think you can go wrong with this author. I've loved everything that I've read so far. One of my favorite series that I talked about on another video was The Queen of Blood by Sarah Beth Durst. I got it at the library and I haven't been able to find it anywhere. Look at her. It's real. Real, beautiful, brand new looking hardback book. Book number 1 in the trilogy, The Queen of Blood. Oh my goodness. I've been looking a lot for this author, again, on Book Outlet. I mean, Amazon didn't even have them. Barnes & Noble didn't have them. Every time I looked on Book Outlet, nothing. And then this was my last order that I just got a couple days ago because I saw they had it. They said that it was in low stock, and I just went, I got to put an order together. I got to put an order together. I've got to get this. I've got to get this. So here it is. It's in my hands. It's real. I love this author, and I loved this trilogy, especially this first book. And I'm super excited that I now own this. Highly recommend this. It is a YA fantasy romance, you know, the land, the language, the magic system. It's just so unique and different and fun and flowy. You know, there's some darkness. I mean, the blood, there's some darkness. Some of the magic is, some of the creatures are not necessarily, you know, the best, and you have some struggles. But the writing was great, and the land and the atmosphere, and it's all so worth the read if you can get your hands on this one. Love this. So along with that, in this same order, I picked up this book from her as well, The Bone Maker. I read the reviews. Most people said it was super unique and fun. And I have started reading this. I'm about here. Just enough that I do know what's happening. I kind of knew the gist of what's going on, and I've really been enjoying this so far too. One of those nice little good-sized floppy paperbacks. But Sarah Beth Durst, again, I think I'm going to pretty much pick up everything she writes. Along those lines, this was my order from a couple of months ago. I got Vessel by Sarah Beth Durst, and I got Race the Sands, and I got The Adoration of Jenna Fox. Same author. I haven't read these three yet. I'm kind of saving them. Do you ever do that? Like, it's just so nice to know that they're there. And then if I get in a slump, I just have these beautiful Sarah Beth Durst books that I can go pick up and read. So these three, I'm not, I haven't, this one especially, Race the Sands. Oh, this seems wonderful and right up my alley, kind of a magic system, racing across the sands. But look at that lion. Like, there's going to be some magic going on. And that's kind of all I want to know. Like I said, I don't like all the answers. So I'm just excited to get me some more Sarah Beth Durst. I'm going to skip around a little bit. So I know that there's some classic, and for me, for some of us, classic might be 1950s. But there's just some good 1990s, 1980, 1990s, 20, 2001s classics. And I think this is going to be one of those. Adrian Tchaikovsky's Guns of the Dawn. I think this is a standalone. This author has written so many things. And I was like, I want to give this a try. It's almost a small paperback. It's a little bit smaller than this one. I wish it had been a little bit bigger. But it's going to be fine. I'm going to read it. I'm excited for this one. I hope I love it. It's one of those that's on my TBR that I probably might have checked out first at the library. And then I just said, oh, hang it. I'm just going to buy it. So here we are. I will get to this. It's huge. It's another big one. 600 and something pages. It's big. Guns of the Dawn. But I'm excited to have this one. It's on my TBR, and I hope it's an author that I end up loving, because I think that he has a lot of good stuff, and I hope that I can just get sucked in and really enjoy this author. Another one of those that I really hope I enjoy, everybody's talking about this. I don't think I've seen one bad review or heard one bad comment from all of the YouTube booktubers that I watch. Girls, boys, everything. And that is The Sword of Kaigan by M.L. Wang. This is a self-published book that everybody's raving about. I think I'm going to love it. It's another one of those where I looked for it at the bookstore. Couldn't really find it. Again, self-published. I had to get this off Amazon. And it's one of those where I was like, you know what? I haven't bought a book for a couple of weeks. What do I really, really want? Because I like to usually, especially if I'm paying full price, I like to have read it at the bookstore, at the library. I like to have read things before I purchase them, or at least, read the first quarter of it, so I can see if I like the writing, see if I'm liking the author's style before I buy. But this one and this one, I just bought these two together a week and a half, 2 weeks ago, because I said, I just finally really want this. I've seen so many people talk about it. It's on their top 10, top 20 list of favorite books of all time. It's a standalone at this point, and I finally just said, hang it, I'm going to buy them both. And so that's what those two were. They came to me together, and I'm excited, very excited about that. Okay, a couple of months ago, so about 2 months ago, when the weather's still bad, and I don't even know where I got a recommendation of these books, but somebody recommended them. I looked them up. They have 4-point-something stars each. There was only 2 at the time, and I thought, oh, it just sounds fun. Let's just get them. And I've ended up loving them with my whole heart and soul. So the first one these are by Leah Stone. The Last Dragon King, The Broken Elf King, And then this one just came out about 2 weeks ago. No, 3 weeks ago, maybe 4 at the most. The Ruthless Fae King. There's one more supposed to come out in August, and I've read reviews where some people are like, well, if they'd been all out at the same time, I would have kept reading them. But now I have to wait, so I'm not going to finish. I mean, hello, that's how all books are. They all have to come out in their own due time. They can't come out at the same exact time. Anyway, this is one that I feel for myself I was so excited when I saw this came out. I ordered it immediately, loved it. These all go together. Okay, this is all one world. These are all different kings. There's one more, and they're all fighting their own personal demons in whatever way. They have their own personal story. They all have a little romance in them. They're just that closed door romance, which is what I love. I love me some romance. But I just like the closed door. I don't need all the spice in my life, in my face. And so these were just perfect. I'm going to do a whole video on them because if you just want a good time, you just want some happiness in your life, you will love these. And so this, I'd had these two had already come out, and I just purchased this about, like I said, 3 weeks ago. Zippity doo dah it right down. I had to get it in my body and in my mind and absorb it, and I did. So one more coming in August, I think, and then this will be a completed series. So fun and so exciting. I'm so glad I got them. Like I normally wouldn't have necessarily. Like they have beautiful covers. Look how beautiful. Oops, they're so pretty. I didn't really know anything about them, but I'm so glad I got them. And here we are. I highly recommend those. Those have been read immediately. A couple more books that I knew I really wanted that have just, people have been singing their praises. Every booktuber I've seen, pretty much every booktuber I've seen, loves these books. Now, it's one where I just don't know. I just caved from the pressure and I got them. I think there's going to be a little spice in them that I probably could live without, but I'm a grown up. I can read it. It's not a big deal. But I will let you know how spicy it is and let you decide if you think it's something that you want to read. But that is The Serpent and the Wings of Night, and then The Ashes and the Star-Cursed King, both by Carissa Broadbent. They are vampire tales, humans and vampires. I did start reading this first one, but then I thought, oh, the second one wasn't quite out yet, so I just paused it as well, which is what I do. But now I have the second one too. And there is just two, but there is like a little novella that goes with these as well. We'll see if I like these enough to purchase them. But I'm excited. These are really, really popular right now, and I just caved. I just caved and bought them. I just had to have them. They're pretty. They have vampires. I just had to do it. I'll let you know how bad or how good they are. Okay. Here's a couple that, again, cozy reads, highly recommended. And I just was like, okay, I finally want to purchase it. So I finally got Legends and Lattes by Travis Baldree. Have not read it yet. It's not very big. I'm saving it for kind of a moment when I don't get in really heavy book funks, but sometimes I do. And what I've done recently, just this last week, is I went back to my Mercy Thompson books because they're my favorite. And I just needed them. And so I zipped through 6 of those, like one a day, because I can skim over them and not have to read every single word. And just melt my heart and just bring me back to joy. And I love them so much. So I'm just kind of saving this for a moment when I'm, in that frame of mind. And I think I just need a cozy, fun read. I think there's a part 2 coming out of this one as well. Everybody loved it. So sounds like there's a part 2. And then I really did enjoy this Nettle and Bone by this author. And this came highly recommended too. A Wizard's Guide to Defensive Baking by T. Kingfisher. Again, I just hear this is fun, cozy, a good time, and it's not very big too. So I'm saving it for a rainy day. Going back to my recent book outlet order, my Sarah Beth Durst, those 2 books that I just got. And then this one, Cindy Williams Chima, Children of Ragnarok. This is fairly recent. And it's a hardback. It's beautiful. The cover's gorgeous. This got a lot of recommendations from people that I do check out on BookTube, so I was excited. I got this for $6.99. I just got all of these about 4 days ago, so obviously I haven't read them all. But let's just keep going through the ones that I did get. Okay, The Daughter of Red Winter. I'm going to need my glasses for this for a sec. The Daughter of Red Winter by Ed McDonald. Now, this next little group or chunk of books is going to be books that I didn't know much about. When I'm sitting on Book Outlet on their website and I see some things that look good, I always zip over to my Goodreads. I kind of get a taste for it, see how many stars it got, and just make a decision where if I think I'm going to, if it's something that I'm going to want. This Daughter of Red Winter, it got 3.88 stars on Goodreads. Some of the comments from different authors on the back, it says potent, gritty, bloody, and splendid. Mixes the incentiveness of China Miéville with the fast-paced heroics of David Gemmell. Original world building, unforgettable characters. Dark, twisty, and excellent. Anyway, so this is supposed to have a companion coming out in 2023, but it came out in 2022. 3.88 stars. I hope I like it. All these next ones are going to be I hope I like them ones because I haven't read anything personally about them and I've just decided to give them a shot. The next one is Lady Rogue. This had 3.69 stars. It came out in 2019, but this author, Jen Bennett, she has tons of books that she's written. So this one only got 3.69 stars, but she's written a lot of books. So that gives me hope that I may fall for this author. I may, absolutely decide that she's an author for me because she's written several and people seem to continue to read her things. So there's hope for me. But if it's just not for me, I will be finding out. Of Cages and Crowns by Brianna Joy Crump. Now this one is something that got 4.3 stars. 4.3 to me is huge. It came out in 2022. It says that it's very poetic. She says, I wanted to burn everything. I wanted to turn myself to ash, but instead I straightened and said the words I've been running from my entire life. My name is Monroe Benson, and I am a goddess touched. So 4.3 stars, and it says number 2 came out in 2020 before number 1 came out. I'm going to wait and see if I loved this, and then I'll dig a little deeper and see what's really going on there. But for $6.99, I'm excited to give that one a shot. The Court of Miracles by Kester Grant. Let me see where I wrote this down. This got 3.69 stars. It came out in 2020. Number 2 is supposed to be out in 2024, and then it looks like it's going to have a trilogy. So it says, as a thief, she has nothing to lose. As a sister, she could lose everything. So 3.69 stars. It looks like it's small. Hopefully it's a fun read. It may be something that I love. I will let you know. Okay, and then Forged in Fire and Stars by Andrea Robertson. Forged in Fire and Stars. Let's see how many. This just got 3.58 stars, but they say if you like Game of Thrones and Ember in the Ashes, that's what people compare this to, and I loved Ember in the Ashes. I did not read Game of Thrones, but I love Ember in the Ashes. This came out in 2020. Book number 2 came out in 2021, and it has a 4.03 rating, and book number 3 just came out in May of this year, and it has 4.17 stars so far. So the ratings just keep going up on this. So that gives me hope that it's something that I'm going to really enjoy. The Traitor's Game by Jennifer A. Nielsen. This has 3.85 stars. It came out in 2018, and there's one that came out in 2019, and the trilogy completed in 2020. So the fact that this has a full completed trilogy excites me because I like completed series. And it says, nothing is as it seems in the kingdom of Antora. So again, I hope I'm going to love this. It's a completed trilogy, and I'm going to give it a shot. We Rule the Night, 3.73 stars, came out in 2019. It's by Claire Eliza Bartlett. It looks like it's a standalone so far, and I just thought, what the Union of the North asks, they must give, even their lives. So we'll see. Again, we will see. It looked intriguing. I'm going to give it a shot. And then, and then, look what I got. I don't know if this will mean anything to you. At first, it didn't mean anything to me. But then I've started seeing it on some booktube. I started seeing people's comments. I got Lightlark. This is by Alex Astor. I guess it's very controversial. Very controversial. But it has like 4.5 something stars, average rating. When I pulled it up, it looked good. But I guess it was one of those, it started on TikTok. This is how it was told. This is how I remember hearing about it. It said that they did a little blurbity blurb on TikTok. What if you wrote a book about da 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 da? And then somebody did write a book about that, and it became a hit, and people are offended. Now, I'm not in the book community enough to understand exactly why people are offended about that, or upset about that, or literally, from what I hear, like pissed off about that. I don't know, but I got it, and we're going to be finding out. So I was hoping it would be good. We will see. Obviously, anything I purchase, I hope is going to be good, but we will see. I think there might be some vampire stuff in here. We'll see. And then this very, very popular book, The Pallbearers Club by Paul Tremblay. For thriller lovers, which I follow a couple of booktubers that mostly read thrillers. And it's not my favorite genre, but I have read some that I've loved. So I thought, this is a super popular one. It was on Book Outlet, and I'm like, I need to stretch out and I need to read this. So I'm super excited actually for this one, even though it's not my norm. I think it's just a standalone, and it's not very big. And I think and I hope that I really enjoy this one. Let's see here. Another one along those same lines in a genre that I don't really read much. This is a sci-fi must read from what I hear. The Hail Mary Project from Andy Weir. I just heard nothing but great. This is a must read no matter what genre you like. It's just a must read. And they had this. They had this on Book Outlet. And it came with a little bookmark, whatever. I was like, no, did I get this? No, I got this. Sorry, my bad. I got this at Barnes & Noble. I couldn't find it anywhere else recently. And so I was just like, yep, it's time. I got to read that. I know I'm going to love it. I just have high hopes for it. I'm not even worried. I think it's going to be great. Great stuff. My last Book Outlet order, like a month and a half, 2 months ago. First off, I bought Bound by Firelight by Dana Swift. Had some good, let me go tell you how many stars it had. It had over 4 stars on an average rating. So Cast in Firelight was first. And then the next time the book order came around, I got Bound in Firelight. So I'm really excited for these. YA, kind of arranged marriage with a twist is what these are. And I'm excited. I have both of them. And I got them both for a really good price. And they do have pretty good ratings on Goodreads. So I'm like, that's a steal. I love it when it's completed and they're there and I can just finish it and I can just be happy. Oh, makes my heart happy. Okay, my book order that I got a couple months ago. This is another recommendation from Elliot Brooks. When I went back on her to like 2019, 2020 to some of her book recommendations. Again, I want completed series, and why not go back and find some fun stuff. So that's what these are. Wings of Shadow, Crown of Feathers, and Heart of Flames. I got all three of these. All three of these at the same time on Book Outlet. The hard part, you know, is you get these two gorgeous hardbacks and then this one paperback. Um, I don't care though. I really don't care. Like, it would be nice to just have them all the same. I don't care enough. I'm just thrilled to have the complete set. This talks about you have Phoenix writers. So people actually, you have your animal companions, which I love the idea of animal companion stories, and they're phoenixes. And these had high ratings as well. YA fantasy. I'm literally so excited about this trilogy. And I'm so excited that I got all three of them together at the same time for probably $6 a piece. So there I got a full trilogy completed for less than 20 bucks. Where else can you do that? Where else can you get that? Very, very few places. Okay, I think we're almost to the end. Nope, I got a few more. Got a few more. Okay, Iron Widow. This is something that I have seen recently at Barnes & Noble, just right on one of their main shelves. It's by Iron J. Zhao. I'm sorry if I messed that up. But it's still a popular book that's just right popular today. This is a 4.12 stars, and the next one is coming out next year. So I was so thrilling. Life is like its ferocious heroine, Iron Widow is brutal, bloodthirsty, and full of rage. Zenshian's fight to shatter patriarchal definitions of power makes for a truly thrilling read. Excited. I got this in a hardback, brand new, beautiful. Got that. I'm excited to give that one a try and to see if I like part 2 that's coming out. Okay, The Helm of Midnight. This is by Marina Lostetter. This is book number 1. Book number 2 came out already. And this one was 3.91 stars, and the next one is 4.15 stars. So I love when books just keep seeming to get better and better. And a mysterious and mind-ripping journey through the mystic depths of time and the darkness of the human psyche. We'll see. We'll see how I like this. But again, Book Outlet at a really good price. So they suck me in sometimes. They just suck me in. Okay, The Familiars. I'm not certain about this. I'm hoping I love it. 3.88 stars, and she has written several other books. So this came out in 2019. I think it's got, it's about witches, women, witches, and their familiars. So sometimes I like witch stories, sometimes I don't. It really depends on how it's approached, how it's written, and how I feel as I'm reading it. If that makes sense. So we shall see on that one. And you know I have no problem DNFing things. And I usually like to DNF library things, but even if I purchased it, doesn't mean I have to read it. And I have no trouble taking them, trying to do a buyback at my local bookstore or donating them to a little library. Okay, Crown of Bones by A.K. Wilder. Look how pretty that cover is. 3.96 stars, came out in 2021, and then number 2 came out in 2022, part 2, and it's 4.3 stars. So I think, I think I'm going to like it. An epic tale of intrigue, adventure, and romance. I adore Crown of Bones with all my phantom-loving heart. This is by Philip Dunn, New York Times bestselling author of Malice, Philip Dunn. Anyway, sounds great, sounds fun, and the ratings just get better and better. So I really am hoping I like this as well. It sounds like it's up my alley. Sounds really fun. Holy moly, River Enchanted from Rebecca Ross. Do you know how things just stick? Like, that question was going to drive me crazy until I figured it out. River Enchanted by Rebecca Ross. I loved that book. I borrowed it though from a friend. And so it's not on this list because I did not purchase it, but I read it recently, loved it, and I knew I wanted to get Divine Rivals. That's why. Okay, couple more and we will be done. Holy cow, that's a lot of books. Okay, Elliot Brooks raves and raves and raves about this series, and I just finally had to cave and at least get the first book. So R.S. Ford's Engines of Empire. I have huge high hopes for this. This was not a Book Outlet. This was a finally like Amazon. I have to buy it. it's time. I'm going to give it a shot. I think it's a trilogy, but I just got the first book. I just have learned I've got to see if I like it before I'm going to buy all of them, of course, right? I have high hopes for this. If you've read it, let me know. But I think that's the thing. I think it's highly loved by those who have read it, but not a lot of people have read it. So I am excited for that. I'm excited for that one. And then last but not least is Kings of the Wild. This is something I just bought at Barnes & Noble a couple weeks ago too. Nicholas Eames wrote this. There's part 2 so far. And it is a band of misfits going on adventures. I love that. I love the idea of that. I feel like Six of Crows is kind of like that. I feel like, Crooked Kingdom, all of those. That's kind of what those are. And I loved those. And so I'm really, really hoping I love these. They're pretty highly rated as well. And I think I'm just going to have a fun time with it. I love me some classic, I'm just going to call it classic adventure, fantasy, good guys, misfits coming together to go on a quest. I love that. I think I'm going to love this. Some people that I follow really, really enjoy this. And I decided again too, I'm just going to go for it. I want to give it a shot. Holy moly. So there's books I have purchased this last quarter. Some I've read. I'm really excited for every single one of them. I hope I'm not disappointed. I'm sure I will be on at least 1 or 2 of them, and that's okay. But I think in general, oh, these are others that I bought too. We Hunt the Flame and We Free the Stars. That was on my book outlet order, both of them together. I think you can see those. Those are by Hafsa Fazel. Again, I hope I didn't butcher that too badly. But these came very highly recommended, and they were both from Book Outlet. Hence the paperback and the hardback. Like I said, I don't know why they do that, but they do, and I don't care. They're still beautiful, and they're still on my shelf. Holy moly, that's 60 plus books. Oh, I have one more. This literally just came today, just in time for this video, and I just want to unbox it with you. This is another one of those where the series is complete. I think it might continue on in a second part series, but I think some of those might even be here. But the series is complete, and it is a beloved series that pretty much everybody loves, and I've been wanting to get it for a while. And the thing again I love, like a completed series where you can get, I got all of these all together for like $32. 5 books. Red Rising by Pierce Brown. Red Rising. And then you have Golden Sun, Morning Star. Then you have Iron Gold and Dark Age. I think these are the next 2. But you look at, I got this whole trilogy and then these next 2. And I've heard nothing but great things about these as well. And I was so excited when I saw them all together, buttoned up for a great price. I mean, if this is about $32, like, I spent 26 bucks on one book. You have too. We've all done it. A book that I would pay almost anything for right when it came out, because you're waiting for it, and it's coming out, and you're going to pre-order it, and you're going to pay whatever they ask. And then there's me looking back on some of these completed series, and you get all of these for like $32. I am happy girl. Like I said, this just came today. I'm so thrilled. Look how awesome that is. Boom. Well, thanks for being here. Look, I mean, I've got some books to put away. That's the thing, is I was going to start putting them away, and I thought, I better do a quick video before I get them all put away, because I got to rearrange. I got to find a place, and I'm going to take a book hiatus, a purchasing hiatus for a while, because I just don't have room, and I pretty much have what I want. The only thing is, if I love this, I'll have to purchase book number 2. If I love this, I'll have to get the rest of that series. if I love this, I'm going to have to get the rest of that trilogy as well. You know, so there's a few that might have to be purchased. Like Malice here, I know I'm going to want all the rest of these. So I'm going to just, when I put my books on my shelf, I'm going to make a place for all the rest of them because I know I'm going to have that. So thanks for being here. Comment below, follow and subscribe. I hate asking that, but I figure I should do it once in a while because maybe you don't think about it, and it would always obviously help, and it would be great if you want to share this with anybody too, and then I can get more book recommendations, and then I can just have all of you telling me what more books I need to read, because a lot of these books I found from comments on other people's channels. I love going through comments on other people's channels because you guys give some of the best book advice. So that's what I'm looking for. I appreciate you all so much. We're still talking carnivore. We're still talking, the 4 quadrants. This is a hobby. This is a big hobby right now, you guys. It's a big hobby, but I'm loving it. And I hope you have hobbies that you love too that bring us joy. Have a good day.